Okay guys, welcome to the next part of my tutorial, and you can see that I have applied a NURB subdivision smoothing to all the pieces of geometry, and you can see that it's almost finished except for the door piece over here. So let's go and correct that out by adding some edge loops to tighten these edges a bit. So let's get started. Let's go to the door and let's isolate the selection, and you can see that some of the pieces over here have not been bridged out. So let's turn off NURB subdivision, and let's do some bridging over here. Let's turn on edged faces by clicking F4, and I'm just selecting some faces. You can see that there are 4 faces on this side, but there are only 3 faces over here. So what we can do is we can go ahead and add an edge right over here, or we can delete an edge inside, which is far more better. So let's select that edge, and that edge comes to the front, so we can't delete it. Let's see what we can do. One thing we can do is I think we can have a triangle over here, because this piece is not going to be deformed any by using any animation. So I think we'll have a triangle. So let's select these edges and bridge them across. So you can see that a triangle has been formed over here. And that's just fine. Now let's go to the edge mode and select these edges, apply a ring selection, and let's tighten these edges a bit by using the connect tool and sliding it all the way till the end, like that. And another connect over here. And I think those are the edges that we need. Just apply connect, and okay, let's check out the smooth version. Okay, nice enough. And let's tighten some of the edges over here. Let's apply a ring selection to this loop and connect it. Bring it all the way to positive 99. 99 is too much, so about 90. And then let's check out the smooth version. Well, I think that does good for now, except this piece. Well, let's go ahead and add some more connects. Okay, I think we can leave the door as it is, like that. Except for this place. Let's go to the vertex mode and bring these vertices back just a bit, so that it doesn't look too much pointed over there. Okay, I think that looks decent enough. And now let's exit the isolation mode and see if there are any conflicts over here. I can see that. Let's undo the vertex movements a bit. And I think that's nice, except for one thing. You can see that there's only one belt line for the Audi, but here there are currently two belt lines going over here. So let's see how we can delete some edges from the main body of the car. Enter isolation mode, turn off NURBS subdivision, and let's delete one of the edges from here. Okay, let's delete that. And let's also delete some of the associated vertices over here. And I think those are the vertices. Let's remove them and try NURBS subdivision now. Okay, that looks far more refined. Next, let's go to the next piece of geometry, that is over here, and let's enter isolation mode and let's remove this this edge. So let's turn off NURBS subdivision and apply a loop selection. And you can go ahead and so now we got to remove those edges out. What we can do is let's click remove, and then we can remove the vertices, but there's another way to remove those edges out. What we can do is a clean remove. We can do that by pressing control and holding on to control and clicking the remove, or just by pressing the backspace key, control and remove, and you can see all the associated edges have been deleted. Now let's take a look at the NURBS subdivision. Well, you can see that that's a bit more refined, except for this over here. This corner I want it to be a little more sharper, so what we can do is select this loop and let's go to the local mode and try if that works, and let's push it all the way inside. Let's push it all the way inside. Let's isolate the selection for now. Let's try adding another edge to tighten that out by applying a connect and sliding the edge all the way till the end. Let's try 101. Okay, so now I think that edge is a bit more sharper, but I don't want that too much sharp, so let's go to the edge mode and make a connect again, and well, that's nice. Let's turn off isolation mode now and see how that looks. Next thing what we can do is, you can see there are some gaps over here, so let's fill them out. Let's turn off NURB subdivision for this piece of geometry and also this piece. Let's apply a ring selection to these edges right over here. And you can see that this gap has not been bridged out, just my mistake. So let's deselect, let's select this edge, apply a ring selection, and I don't want to select these edges right over here. So let's deselect all the unwanted edges. I want only these edges to be selected. Okay, and now let's do a connect, and let's go to the bridge mode. Let's go to the edge mode and let's bridge this edge off. Let's do a bridge and let's see how that looks now. Okay, except for a single thing. Let's exit the isolation mode for now. And okay, that looks better. Now let's go to this edge over here and let's isolate that, and I want an edge added over here. Okay, let's apply a ring selection and connect that. Like that, or let's leave it just like that. I've made just a small mistake, I think, because right now, if you check out the images for the car, you can see that the door piece is this piece along with this piece, so there's no crease over here. But what I have done is I've separated uh, the piece at this point, so that's not actually the correct uh, way to do Audi R8. So let's see how we can connect those together again. Let's go to the four-sided view, and right now I want to isolate these pieces of geometry, and let's turn off the NURB subdivision for both of them, and I think we can leave the uh, other parts as is this, and let's turn off the NURB subdivision for all of them so that it doesn't bog down my system, like that. And what we can do now is let's enter the see-through mode for this geometry and this geometry, and let's go to this geometry and switch over to the vertices mode, and let's bring these vertices forward over here, and what we can do now is let's go to this geometry, turn off the NURB subdivision, and what we have to do right now is let's zoom in a bit and switch over to the wireframe mode for the time being. Let's isolate these pieces of geometry, and let's center the pivot for this geometry and also for this. Okay, and let's check out how the flow has been going on over here. So what I want to do is I want to actually add another edge loop over here. So let's select this geometry and connect it approximately over there, and then let's select this edge and add a connect over there, and what we can do now is let's just thinking of a way to connect these two geometries together. So okay, let's delete these faces. Okay, those are the faces we want. Let's delete them, and let's attach the two pieces together. Go to the vertices mode, and let's make some weldings on these vertices. Okay, let's weld them together. Decrease the threshold slightly. Okay, that seems enough. And now to weld some of the vertices over here. Let's weld these two vertices together. And let's also bring this vertex out just a bit. And I think you don't need this edge over here. So let's go to the edge mode and select this inner edge. And let's remove that. Just looking for a way to remove those edges out. Okay, so let's see if we can weld these two vertices together. And let's take a look at the smooth version of the geometry. I can see that there's obviously uh, a bit of an issue over here. So what we can do is let's undo till the point where we have welded those two vertices, and we have to split this piece of geometry from the rest of the surface of the car. So I think you can actually weld those two vertices. And then let's go to the polygon mode and select some of the faces that needs to be separated out. uh, let's uh, let's select. Okay, let's go to the side view to make some tweakings. Switch over to the vertexes mode. Select these vertices and move them back just a bit. And let's go to the polygon mode and select some of the faces that needs to be extracted out. We'll select also these pieces. Okay, I want even these polygons to be selected. And okay, you can see some of the vertices over here that have not been selected. And over here. Okay, I think I've selected all the faces that we need now. And we also definitely need these faces. Over here. And these are the parts that needs to be extracted out as the door, and also these parts. And let's make sure that we have selected all the faces. Okay, so let's detach them out as the door. And let's first go ahead and tweak this piece of geometry. Let's enter isolation mode. And well, you need to have a crease that goes around, that goes from here all the way till here. And you also need a crease that comes from the door and goes all the way around this place till here. So what I'm going to do now is let's go ahead and select the vertices mode, and select some of the vertices over here. All the vertices at the bottom. Make sure that you did not select any extra faces, extra vertices. And I think that is it. And let's move them all in just a bit to give it a bit of curvature. Let's select even these two vertices and move them in. And move them in. Okay, now I've selected all the vertices and I've moved them inside. Now what we can do is let's go to the edge mode. Select these edges right over here. And you can see that there's a vertex right over here. Let's remove that. and you can see that there's an unassociated vertex over here also. And let's remove the edge right over here. Let's go to the face mode and try if we can. Okay, now let's select some of these edges right over here. And just select all the edges. All the way round till here. And what we can do is let's deselect these two edges and let's extract them or extrude them in to give it a thickness. Extrude once over here, or let's extrude it all the way inside. And now let's select these two edges and extrude it inside just a bit like that and bring them down. Just to give it some depth over there. And let's use target weld to weld these two vertices together. And this part, that's not going to be seen, so let's leave it just like that. And also let's apply a ring selection. And we can also select all these edges and bring them down. Sorry, let's deselect some of the faces over here. Let's deselect all these faces and bring them inside. Like that. And let's bring this vertex out just a bit to give a more curved look over there. And now let's go to the edge mode, select these two edges and bridge them across. Select this edge and let's connect it using two edges with a slide of 0 and add a reasonable amount of pinch. And let's take a look at the smoothed version. Well, you can see that this place needs to be cut out even more, so let's turn off smooth subdivision. And let's go to the face mode and let's select a bunch of faces from here till here. Okay, and let's detach them out and name that as back fender wheel front. And now let's go to the object that we have created and enter isolation mode to add some thickness to it. let's select the edge mode, and what we can do is let's select just these edges along with these edges, and let's try a bridge. And these edges, and let's try a bridge. Okay, and I want this vertex. Okay, let it be there, but I want the same amount of sharpness all throughout. Let's check out how the smoothness is in the edge mode. Well, you can see that there's a slight gap over here, which you can see right over here. So let's select this edge, apply a ring selection and connect them. And another connect. Sorry, let's undo till we have added the connect, and connect using one edge, and slide till here, connect again. I'm sorry, apply a ring selection, connect again, over here, and again make a connect over here. Now we can go ahead and merge these vertices. Okay, let's use target weld. And let's check out the smooth version. Well, you can see that's pretty much decent, except for the sharpness in some places over here. So let's select the edge mode, apply a ring selection, use connect, slide the edge all the way till here, and we can also add a edge right here, like that, and I think that looks fairly good. Let's exit the isolation mode now. You can see some vertices that have been slightly displaced over here. Okay, now let's take a look at the smooth version of all these surfaces. And let's turn off edges. Well, you can see that this edge needs a bit of sharpening. So let's go select this edge, apply a ring selection, use a connect, okay, and you can see that some of the edges over here are overlapping with each other. So let's select all these edges, bring them back just a bit, and can go to the edge mode, bring this edge up a little bit, okay, that looks fairly nice, except for this piece over here. Let's center the pivot, and I think we'll leave it just like that. And you can see that we have almost finished everything except for uh, before we end this lesson, let's also add some creases over here. So let's isolate this polygon and turn off knob subdivision, and go to the edge mode. Let's see if we can bridge some of the edges. Select these two edges along with these two edges and bridge them. Okay, and what we can do now is let's select this edge, apply a ring, add a connect, slide this edge all the way over here, and switch over to the vertex mode. Use target weld to weld these vertices. And next up, what we can do is let's see if we can add some edges over here to tighten this piece. So let's go to the edge mode, apply a ring selection. We don't want it to go this side, so let's deselect everything over here, and let's select these pieces. Let's apply an ring selection and deselect these edges. Select this edge, select this edge and apply a ring selection, and let's deselect all these edges that have been selected right over here. And now let's connect it. Okay, that doesn't seem to work because the normals are a bit tangled up over here. So let's select these edges and let's connect them. Using the slide and take them back just a bit. And let's select these edges right over here, connect them using a positive 87, and let's switch over to the cut mode. and cut some vertices like that, and we can switch over to the weld mode or target weld these two vertices together. And let's bring this vertex out just a bit, so that looks better, I think. Let's see how that looks from this angle. Well, better. So let's exit isolation mode and see. Well, now for one last thing, we have to close the gap over here. So let's select this piece of object and enter isolation mode, turn off smooth subdivision, and let's bridge some of the geometry. Go to the edge mode, select these edges, and let's bridge them across. Again, go to ring and let's connect it using a vertex in this place, so that we can use target weld to weld these two vertices. And that's it. Let's wrap up this lesson over here now. Let's see how the entire geometry looks in the smooth shaded view. Let's exit isolation mode and turn on smooth shaded view. Well, you can see that you need a bit of sharpness over here. Let's add that. That's better. And next thing what we can do is let's wrap up the lesson over here now. I can see that this part still needs some fixing, so let's do that in the next lesson.